Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Conversations with the Coach. I'm your coach, your insurance coach, Eustace Leon Greaves Jr. And today I'm very proud to share the screen with none other than Rodney Newell of NHS of New York City. That's Neighborhood Housing Services of New York City. And why do we call it Conversations with the Coach? Because every time, like a coach on the sideline, I make sure I wear my baseball cap because I don't grow hair the way I used to, so my head gets cold too. So if you don't mind, I'm going to throw my baseball cap on, and this one is from the 100th anniversary of the Yale Bowl. My daughter and I saw Yale beat Army in an exciting double overtime game back in 2014, and this is one of my favorite caps. Don't wear it often, but for this gentleman, I'm honored to put on the Yale Bowl hat, and I'm here again to welcome the one, the only, the stupendous Mr. Rodney Newell. Please, Rodney, introduce yourself and tell
Well,
them what.
thank you so much, Coach Greaves, for having me participate in your conversation today. And yeah, I'm Rodney Newell. I'm a HUD certified financial and housing counselor here at Neighborhood Housing Services of New York City. We've been in operation, nonprofit operation for nearly 40 years. And what we do here is we assist middle income folks to purchasing homes. One of the main things we do, first time home buyer counseling, financial counseling, as well as foreclosure prevention. So today, I'm here with Coach Greaves, and we were having a conversation talking about, the things that are hindering, the middle class, the middle income families from purchasing homes, and and one of the main reasons has to do with the property values and and which is a problem, which we got three things. We have the credit issues, we have income issues, and we have asset issues. And all of these things tend to affect middle income families more so than more affluent families, because more affluent families will have some savings in the bank and investment account, and that's the asset part of it, for which banks are going to want to see that you have some assets. Banks are going to want to see that you have something to fall back on in the event of something catastrophic happening in life, because to the bank you are just a risk. Okay, so these are the three things that can tell a lender how risky you are. And I often do a webinar called Thinking Like a Lender. Okay, and we talk about these things. Okay, so if you have the assets, that's one of the things that a lender is going to be, that may hinder you in getting in. You may have the income, you may have the credit score, but they're going to want to see that you have some assets, primarily for a down payment. And even once you've made your down payment, now down payments can be as low as 3.5% when working with the FHA loan. But if you did getting a traditional sort of lending, you would need probably 20%. Okay, so that's a major factor. And then secondly, and Mr. Coach Greaves and I, we talking about one of the main things that hinder people is the credit. Okay,
Mhm.
I have a lot of people who have wonderful incomes and wonderful assets, but they're not good at managing their money, and they have late payments, or they'll have, which, there are various things that are going to drive your credit score down. And for many mortgages, you need to have at least a 720 credit score, low sevens and up. However, for certain government loans like the FHA, Sony made they may, particularly FHA, they realize that low income people tend to have lower credit scores, so they'll suffice to give you a loan for 620. I've heard they've even gone lower than that, but in my training, it's that 620 that qualifies you for the FHA loan. So quite often people come to me, wanting to purchase a home, and the credit scores are in the high fives, low sixes, and I'll just do a financial counseling with them, because we do offer free financial counseling here. And I'll do a comprehensive review and analysis of the credit report. And I've had a pretty decent track record of getting people anywhere from 50 to, one guy I got up about 140 points over a probably 6 to 8 month period, because he had items in collection. So we did some negotiated settlements. But a lot of things you can do. When I look at a credit report, I'm saying, okay, if they got student loans in default, okay, let's get those rehabilitated. So we'll call up the lender, and say, we had some difficulty, want to rehabilitate these loans. So once they get rehabilitated, they return to the original principal, and also they become out of delinquent status. Okay, so that's something that's going to get your scores up. So as I said, I play as a financial counselor, I'm also a financial coach. I tell my, I play chip away. Okay, we if you're down 10 runs in the first inning, I tell my guys, because I actually own and operated baseball teams, from little league up to adult amateur, and my son played at collegiate level. So,
Wow.
having worked on Wall Street for 30 years as an analyst, I'm bringing these skill sets into NHS, my analytical skills as well as my coaching skills. Coaching was basically a real love of my life. I really enjoy doing it. And you're not really teaching the game; you're teaching them about life. So I apply those coaching skills to my current profession as far as the financial counseling that I do here. And I always tell to my clients, you're not going to get 100 points doing one thing. So I'm gonna do something with, I'm gonna rehab your student loans. Okay, so that maybe that get you 20, 30 points. I'm gonna work with you with your budget to get your utilization down. That's another major problem with credit. Okay, people, they got $1,000 worth of credit and they got a balance of $999. Okay, so that's not cool. Okay, because that tells a lender that you're not, you're overutilizing what you have available, and that drives down your scores. So so quite often I'll set a budget where we're doing an accelerated plan. We're paying a little bit more than the minimum, over 3, 6, depending on how much that they're over. I have a spreadsheet. I throw those numbers in. It tells me how much you need to pay down. So then I try to make it so that they're paying it, and I don't want them to not have meat with the rice and beans in their budget. So we'll do it over a period of time. We'll do it 3, 6 months. So that gets them another 20, 30 points. Okay, maybe they got something in collection. We'll get on the phone. They'll say, "Hey, I'm here with my financial counselor, Mr. Newell at Neighborhood Housing Services," and I'll start negotiating. Okay, because anything in collection, don't pay it off, okay, full
Mhm.
amount. Okay, what you want to do is say, okay, what can I do to resolve this? Depending on, and this is the trick, guys, depending on how old that item is depending on how much you're going to negotiate. Now, if it's something that went into collection last year, you're probably going to have to pay around 70, 75%. If it's something that's been in collection for 6 years, in 7 years, they have to take it off, whether they get paid or not. Quite
Mhm.
often, now maybe you want to buy a house in 6 months. So in that situation, you can negotiate maybe 20, 25%. I've seen it happen all the time. But the point being, we play chip away and we get 20 here, 30 there, 40 there. Next thing you know, your score is up, 80, 90 points. Okay. So this is my approach. I've had a great deal of success with it. And as I said, credit is one of the main things that hinder people. And even if you have a decent credit score,
Mhm.
one thing you should understand, there's something, if you have too much debt, there's something called a debt to income ratio. Okay.
Mhm.
You're not going to qualify to a lender if your monthly debt, which is your minimum payments on your credit card, your car notes, your student loans, and it's usually all in your credit report. If your monthly debt is more than, for FHA loan, 43% of your monthly gross income,
Mhm.
you're not including your mortgage now. So what I would do when I'm looking at a prospective client, I gotta say, okay, what's your front end debt to income ratio? That's excluding your mortgage, okay? So if that's let's say 20%, now I know you got another 23% to work with to pay for your mortgage. So I'll divide that 23% by your gross. That'll tell me how much mortgage you can pay. Okay. Now in New York, if that number is less than 2,100, it's not likely you're going to be buying a house in New York. I quite often have to tell people you might have to move down to North Kakalaki because you're not getting a mortgage for less than like 20 with 2,000, 2,100 in New York. Now, mind you, South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, other places, I mean, you can get you a nice piece of property and pay 1,000, 1,200 a month. But in New York, you can't even really get a condo for less than like 350, 400,000. So like I said, that's another aspect of the credit. Even if your scores are good, if you have too much monthly debt, that's going to hinder you from purchasing a home also. So I like to make my clients aware of that because it's not always just about the credit score. I got clients that got like 20 credit cards and minimum payment, even at minimum payment 20, 25. I mean,
Mhm.
$25, $30.
Mhm.
Multiply that by 20, then you put, let's say you're making, 5,000, 5,000 a month or 2,800 a month or whatever it might be.
Mhm.
I mean, that's going to get that ratio up. And if you only have like 15% remaining after that, and that's not going to get you a mortgage. So that's the other aspect of credit, guys, that you guys should be aware of. And then the third thing is income. Okay, income can affect you in a multitude of ways. I mean, too little income, too much income. Okay, too little income is the worst of the two problems, because that's weighing into your gross monthly income. That's gonna, the lower your monthly gross income, the higher your ratio is gonna be as far as debt. So if you're only making $1,000 a month and you got, $200 a month in debt, maybe $400 a month in debt with a car note. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at a 40% ratio already, as
Mm.
opposed to maybe if you got $4,000 a month and $400 in debt, that's 10%. So these are the things that, the income plays a role in that debt to income ratio also. But then again, I got a lot of people who are trying to get grants. They don't have a lot of money in the bank. They make decent salaries, and they're hoping to get a grant. Okay, I mean, if you're making 90,000, we got grants. Let's say the Home First grant, for example, you can get 6% of the property value up to 40,000. Now, mind you, if you're making 90,000, you got no kids, you're just a single person, you're not going to qualify for that grant. Now, if you're
Mhm.
making 90,000 and you got 4 kids, you might qualify for that grant. So that's the thing. That's the thing that we look at also, and that can hinder you insofar as qualifying for a mortgage or qualifying for grants, if you're looking for grants. Okay, because many people, a lot of grants out there. You got Sony Mae to get up to 15,000. You got Home First. So and they give you up to 40,000, 6% up to 40,000. So I always say that sweet spot when I see somebody around 65, 70,000, they got a good credit score, they got some money in their 401k. And back to assets, people need to also understand that if you have a 401k account and you've had it for 20 years and you got, 80, 90,000, whatever, the 100,000, you can use that as an asset and you can draw on that for your down payment. And lenders will use that to qualify you as far as with that asset portion of the equation. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be an investment account or savings account. I mean, a lot of people have 401ks and forget about it, and they get a statement, they got like 70,000 in there. They've been working at the company for 10 years. The money comes out up top, they don't even know it's there. They get the statement like, wow, I'm rich. And I would say it like David Chappelle says it, but this is a G this is a G show here.
Oh, cut it out.
Well, anyways, that being said, I hope that enlightened you guys a little bit. You're always welcome to look up NHSNYC.org if you ever want to get some financial counseling. You want to get some first-time home buyer counseling. We work with Coach Greaves here. He assists us in our home education courses for first-time home buyers, and he's that insurance expert that we bring in to counsel and to educate our clientele on various issues and regarding insurance. He's been in the business for a long time. He's an expert at it, and we really appreciate his partnership. So when he asked me to have this conversation with him and to share some information with his people, I was more than happy to do it. So Coach Greaves, I'm gonna give it back to you, and thanks for inviting me to your show.
No, no problem. Rodney, tell me, could you tell our audience how they can get in contact with you by phone? I know that you work out of the Midtown, I call it the Midtown West office on West 36th Street.
Mhm.
You're also really planted up in the Bronx at the TW.
Right. We have a satellite office in the Bronx. Yes, definitely. You can contact us. I would recommend going to the website nhsnyc.org, or you can call me directly at. You can put my number up there, 929-268-3790, extension 1006. That's Rodney Newell. As I said, I am a HUD certified first-time home buyer counselor as well as a financial counselor here, and we really enjoy working for the community. And there's a big issue out there today about this wealth disparity between
Mhm.
minorities and majorities, or whites, however you want to put it. And the main reason why is that a lot of times we were discriminated against, or we were denied the ability to purchase these homes. So that's one of our main organizational goals, is to try to decrease that disparity insofar as wealth amongst the various ethnicities in this country. And we do it on a city level, but the more people, the more low to middle income people, minorities we can put into homes, the more we're gonna allow people to build wealth, because it's one of the major wealth builders. I mean, most people's wealth is in their homes. So that being said, that's our mission, to get low to middle income people in their homes, so they can pass those homes down to their children, so they can get a after the kids grow up and they can ready to go to school, they can maybe get an equity loan to help the kids go to college. So I
Mhm.
mean, so a lot of our wealth, and like a lot of my white counterparts, they inherited homes from their parents. I mean, my parents didn't have a home. Why they didn't have a home? Because quite often, they didn't have these sort of opportunities. They didn't have these sort of organizations. They didn't have these sort of government programs to help them get loans. And even when they had the government programs, they had something called redlining, where they weren't really giving loans to people in certain neighborhoods based on ethnicity. So, but like I said, we're here to help the community, low to middle income minorities, purchase homes. We partner up with Greaves to help us do our educational courses. And as I said, anything I could do for Greaves, he asked me to come have a conversation. It was my pleasure, and I really appreciate you inviting me, Coach Greaves.
Well, let me just bring up a couple of points. Would you say that telephone number again, please?
That number is 929-268-3790, extension 1006. That's my direct line. My name is Rodney Newell, and I am the HUD certified financial and housing counselor at Neighborhood Housing Services of New York City.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go over a couple of the top points that you mentioned, Rodney.
Mhm.
First thing is, if somebody wanted to check out your Thinking Like a Lender webinar, how would they find out about that? Would they just go to nhsnyc.org and find the webinar schedule?
Well, I do the financial literacy webinars twice a month. Okay, the second Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and the last Tuesday at 6 o'clock, or is that 5 o'clock? Let me take a quick look at that here.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So the second Tuesday of every month at 2 o'clock, and the last Tuesday of every month at 5 o'clock. And I mix it up. Usually I'll do the Think Like a Lender webinar. I'll also do building and maintaining credit. Okay. And I also do the money management and budgeting modules. Okay. Those are the three things that I kind of do. I kind of like rotate them, because it's a major part of the financial capabilities program here, which I developed, is really three things. It's managing your money, it's managing your debt, building and maintaining your debt, and it's thinking like a lender. Because if you think like a lender, you're gonna behave a certain way, because you know what a lender is gonna like and not like. So we kind of rotate those. On the 20 next week, the 23rd, I'm gonna do money management. Okay, that's money management and budgeting.
mhm,
And the key things with the money management, and is three things. I always talk about, monitoring your expenses, your spending, servicing your debt, managing your debt. Okay, saving, paying yourself, and just pay yourself first.
mhm.
And if you build your budget around these sort of three ideas, you'll be financially empowered, because your credit will be good. You'll be building assets, and you'll be monitoring your expenses, because sometimes people just, and I was that way too, just spend willy-nilly. And if I had an extra check one month, because it was one of those months I got paid three times, there you go, a hole in the pocket, money burn a hole right through the pocket. So but if I know I'm having that money's coming up, now I can plan. Or the budgeting also allows you to anticipate shortfalls, or when you're going to have some extra money. Like I said, you get the extra check. Maybe you're paying Greaves quarterly, and you have to pay that $500 on a quarterly basis. Now you can look in your budget and say, oh, I'm going to have to pay my credit cards early, because next month I'm going to be short, because I'm paying the quarterly bill, whether it be a water, whether it be insurance, or what have you. So budgeting is key to financial success, and it's something that we really stress on in our financial capabilities program. And it works in concert with your debt as well. So you're always welcome to sign up. You can go right into the website nhsnyc.org. You'll see a list of webinars coming up. It's free. They usually last about an hour. And sometimes it seems so simple, but for a lot of people, it's not. So it's good to kind of have, sometimes I'm doing these things and I feel like, like I'm teaching somebody the ABCs that already knows the ABCs, but we call it financial literacy program for a reason. There are many people out there, they know how to make money, they know how to spend money, but they're not always so financially literate as far as knowing the importance of savings, knowing the importance of managing your debt, knowing the importance of monitoring your spending. So these are the things that we teach in our program.
Fantastic. Okay, and again, I'm just going to run over a couple of ideas again. The fact that really when we're talking about our credit scores, 720 is the key. I love your idea about the chip away program to chip away at the problems that exist in your
Exactly.
credit.
But because if you try to do too much at once, you get discouraged and then you ended up just leaving it and just staying in that same place. But if you just take steps, I always say one step at a time, you know what I'm saying? If you take one step at a time, eventually you'll get to your destination. If your destination is financial independence or financial empowerment, I mean, you may have a couple of things that are in collection. You might take care of one at a time. You can't do it all at once. So that's the approach that I take when I'm counseling my clients in financial counseling.
Okay, and then of course you mentioned credit utilization, which is so important, even in the insurance area, because I know that there's not one home, auto, condo co-op, really, especially my condo co-op people, that don't have to undergo what's called a credit insurance score. And a big part of the credit insurance score with insurance, I find, is credit utilization, where if you can cut that credit utilization to under 20% to get a good credit insurance score, then you're really rocking. Also, you don't want to have anything like judgments, foreclosures, repossessions, bankruptcy,
Exactly.
or liens on there for the last 5 years, because the insurance companies go back 5 years. So that's important.
But
Now,
it's important to know also that only pertains to revolving credit. Okay, so it's only revolving. Anything unsecured loans, like I said, if you just got a car, if you just bought a car for $10,000, you made two payments. We're not looking at that. Only revolving. And you said 20, but in the profession, 30% is usually
yeah,
is where you're going to maximize your scores. Okay.
but again, with insurance, I find that those people who have a utilization under 20,
Okay.
their credit insurance score just skyrockets, and
Oh.
that means the premium goes down.
Okay, important to
So,
know, definitely.
but again, and another thing I want to point out is for a lot of people, you've got to think about those 3 to 6 months, as Rodney said, for the chip away program to work. It may take 9 months. It might take a year, depending upon your particular profile. But the fact is, I like the idea of the chip away and thinking 3 to 6 months, maybe 9 months, maybe 12 months. But by meeting with a competent professional, at least you have a better idea of what it's going to take time-wise to get yourself to that right point.
Exactly. And it's
And
better
again,
to take time than to rush in. So if you take time, your interest score, your interest rate on your mortgage will be 3.1, as opposed to if you rush in, your interest rate is going to be 3.7. Huge
right,
difference. And you're going to
right.
be, you're talking maybe $100, $200 a month, which adds up. So waiting a little while longer is going to benefit you in the long run, guys.
And now we talk about, and again, you mentioned the debt to income ratio, so important. The front end and the back end, it sounds like a wild song, but the front end and the back end do matter.
Hey,
It
hey, this is
sounds
a
like a song from,
this is the G show.
sounds
This
like
is
a reggae
PG.
song.
This is PG. Okay, this is PG.
I know, but
We gonna have to save that conversation for late night. Okay.
okay. But also the importance of grants and the fact that you could make 90,000 as a single person, you probably won't qualify for many. But if you're 90,000 with 3 or 4 kids, the world will open up to you when it comes to grants. And
Exactly.
3 keys that you mentioned lastly, think about how you're managing your money, think about how you're managing your debt, and think like a lender. I tell you what, I would tell anybody to join that Think Like a Lender webinar. That sounds fantastic because you want to know how the lender thinks. And
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
because that's the bottom line.
Like I said, I switched those up. So I'll probably be doing that on the 6th of April. So just looking ahead. So if anybody's interested in thinking like a lender, I'll probably have that be doing that one on the 6th of April. Okay.
Okay. And again, I didn't know I was talking to another. I know he's a financial coach. I didn't know he was an athletic coach.
Hey, you see these baseball pictures behind me there? Hold on, there you go.
Well, I have never seen the baseball. Oh, like you see, now I see it.
Well,
Okay.
I got one. Actually, I had them home, and I had them up for years, and they were sitting in storage. So I said, let me bring those things into my office and make my office a little more at home. So I have another one on the other wall there, but I kind of like that sort of abstract art where they kind of have distorted lengths
Yeah.
on the things of that
Yeah.
nature. So, but yeah, it looks better there than sitting behind my couch. So I just but yeah, big baseball guy, big coaching guy.
Okay.
You know, love playing basketball still. And so I'm you know, just trying to stay young like Coach Greaves here.
Oh, Lord. Well, listen, again, this is Rodney Newell. You see how smooth he is. This is Rodney Newell. He's a financial coach there for NHSNYC. And again, his telephone number is 929-268-3790, extension 1006.
Exactly.
So if you're thinking about making that, if you're thinking about getting that co-op or condo down the road, this is the gentleman to start the process with, because at least you'll have a game plan, or as we say in model railroading, you'll know how much track to lay and how to lay the track so that you can eventually get to your goal of owning that co-op or condo of your dream. Okay?
Exactly.
And again, even if you're in a co-op or condo now and you think you want to upgrade, guess what? You want to make sure that your game plan is in place so that when you're ready to make that upgrade, get that bigger unit, maybe go to a different community, you'll be able to do so smoothly. So
Exactly.
this is a gentleman to call. So Coach Newell, I want to say thank you, sir.
Well, I
Thank
appreciate
you
you
so
having
much.
me. And as I said, you know, working on Wall Street for 30 years, you know, you know, I would go home and say, hey, I made some money. But now when I go home, I know I'm helping people get into homes. You know, I took a bit of a pay cut, but I get a lot more fulfillment knowing that I'm helping people getting homes, building wealth, and improving their lives, you know, financially. So, you know, I enjoy my work. Looking forward to working with anyone who's interested in financial or first-time home buyer counseling. And as I said, enjoy your partnership, Miss Coach Greaves. And
Thank you,
you
sir.
know,
Thank you.
and whenever you need me, just give me a call.
Definitely. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that phone number to Rodney Newell is 929-268-3790, extension 1006. Listen, again, Coach Newell, thank you. I'm Coach Greaves, your insurance coach, and I can't do it without people like Rodney Newell. I don't do everything. I'll handle your insurance, but this is one of the people I depend on for a lot of other things that we need to do to get you into that co-op or co-op condo, even that house of your dreams. So,
And I want to mention it's a team effort because I'm the counselor. After I counsel you, I'll find you a lender. Now, when I'm looking for a lender, I'm looking for the best interest and the most grants. Once you get that pre-approval from a lender, because when I send you to the lender, he's gonna know you're good. Once you get that pre-approval, you need a realtor. Okay, so we have a list of realtors. As a counselor, I'm gonna get you a realtor that's in the area that you're looking. You want someone who's expert in the area that you're seeking to live. Okay, once you find the place to get the realtor, you're gonna need a real estate attorney to review the purchase agreement. Once you get the real estate attorney, you're gonna need an inspector to inspect the property. Those are 5 people you need in the process. As a housing coach, a counselor, I'm going to make sure that you get those right people. And when it comes to insurance, Greaves is the guy that I'm going to send you to because he's an expert in insurance. And you know, we don't steer, but you know, we have a list of people that we work with. He's on our list, and he does a lot for us, and we try to do as much as we can for him. So just remember that we're going to help you. Greaves is a part of the team, and you know, I'm a part of the team, and we're here to make sure that everything works smoothly for you because it's a complicated process, and you really need to have the right team. Okay, remember, no I in team, right, Coach?
that is correct. That is correct. So again, folks, thank you for watching. Rodney L. Newell, NHSNYC financial counselor, and the man who makes dreams come true. I'm Coach Greaves. I want to thank you for stopping by and enjoying this video. And look, all I can say is see you next time. Be well, God bless, take care. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. So how we do?
Let me just stop the recording.